Alright, so this is just going to be a video of me doing a mock technical interview online using the website Pramp. I came across this while watching a video by a guy named Nick White. He also has a YouTube channel where he explains a lot of leak code problems and talks about just different programming related topics. So in his video, he's kind of explaining how he passed the interviews for Uber and Google, and Pramp is one of the resources that he used along the way. So this is my first interview using Pramp, and so I just screen recorded it while it happened. The overall technical piece, truthfully, was not all that good. I didn't end up solving the problem, but overall the website's really awesome, and the person I was paired with helped me quite a bit. He helped me get an idea of how it all works and everything, and so you can hear me at the end. I kind of ask him to make sure he's cool with me posting this video, and he was. So if you're watching, man, I appreciate it. You did a good job and helped make my first experience on Pramp really good, and you also had a lot of helpful feedback. So again, thanks. So just a side note, I actually am currently happy at my current job as a software dev, but I want to constantly be doing these interviewing and whiteboarding tech question things to keep my skills sharp, so that if some point I do need to find another job or want to find something else, I'll already be prepared. Don't need to do a huge amount of time studying and getting back into the swings of things. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video and give Pramp a try. I have a link in the description that you can follow to join Pramp if you want. If you use my link, you get more credits for the interviews, which is pretty cool. So either way, hopefully you get something out of this video, and thanks for watching.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
hmm
Alright, so this is my first time doing this, so I'm not totally sure how it works. Looks like you're up first to do the question.
Yeah. Okay. Difference between two strings. So given two strings of this letter, source and target, the same string form a sequence of edits. The sequence of edits to convert from source to target that uses the least edits possible. For example, with string source, and target, that we might return A, B, C, D, E, F, G. More formally, for each C in source, we would either write the token C, which does not come as an edit, or write the token minus. Additionally, between any token that we write, we may write plus D, where D is any letter which comes as edit. At the end, when reading the token from left to right, and not including the token prefix, with a minus sign, the letter should spell out target. I'm already having a hard time understanding this question.
Yeah, to be fair, when I read it through, when they sent it to me, I was a little confused too. It's definitely an oddball.
Yeah. In the example of the answers, just A, B minus B, D, E, as total number of edits 4, the minimum possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. And ignoring subtraction tokens spell out this, which represents the string target. If there are any multiple answers, is the answer that favor moving from the first.
So, can you see the hints as well, or no?
No, I can see the hints.
Okay, well, let me, I just can read through the first bullet point here, see if it maybe helps. So it says, if X and Y have the same starting letter, we can write it and then write our solution to the problem involving strings. So X in parentheses 1 and Y in parentheses 1, for example. So it has a little function here. We both can edit in this code?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let me drop that in there. Take a look at it. Yeah, so that's the function. It said there, it says, what are our options if x and y have a different letter?
So if x and y they're the same, we'll return that string plus, and then solve for x1. So it's like the coordinate recursively.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what the base case be then.
And then keep g and accomplish. So we either add or subtract to get the target.
Yeah, so it looks like in that else case, so in the original if they're equal, we're returning x0. I guess it could be y0 either. Obviously, it doesn't matter at that point. And then you're solving both of the next strings at the next letter. It looks like in the else case, you're basically just moving on to the next letter in both x and y and getting an answer for each, if that makes sense. And then you're kind of comparing length to see whether it's like an add or a subtract.
Yeah.
Let me read another one of the hints here. So it says, say we knew the minimum number of edits required for the problem with strings x sub I, y sub j. How might we use that to find the actual edits themselves? So say we knew the minimum number of edits. So it looks like it mentions another way to solve here too. It says the problem's easiest to attempt in two different parts. So first you try to find how long the final answer for the strings must be. So I guess in your case there you have 6 is the final string that you're sending through, or 6 characters I guess, or steps rather.
Yeah.
And then the second is try to reconstruct the answer using basically the two different pointers that we were talking about for the source and the target.
Yeah, so we need to return this. Okay. So what if I put all of my source in like this? Let's say my target letter. My target is F A Y. But then I can check this set to see if I've seen F. If I've seen F, then my result, which would be this guy, I say result to F, and then I can check to see if B is already here. If it is not there, then I can do B minus 1, I can do minus B to my result. And then check to see if D is there. D is not there, so I do minus B. Okay. A there, yes, so I just keep it. D there, no, then do minus B. Okay, so I could potentially solve it like this. Yeah. So check to see if I've seen.
Yeah, that makes sense. So just iterating through the source and checking the target, and keeping I guess like a cursor of some sort on the target to See where you are.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm returning a string of arrays. Um, okay. So let's say target set x. And the problem is I could potentially do something like this. That should convert it to an object,
Right.
which should give me 0, 1, 2, or 3 as the properties, and then the value would be the character.
Right.
Okay. So I want to go now and check to see if um, each character. So where would I be look? I'll be looking over the source at this point. So I can say source. Right. Um, I can say actually I want to do source splice. This is I think it's split. SPLIT. An empty string. Um, and that will give me an array. And I can do map character. So then for each character, I want to check if I want to see if I could set so this gives me a character, so I want to see let's see if I do I so it's here. So in this case where this doesn't contain y. Oh, okay.
You're actually right on track.
Yeah. So if this target is equal to this character, then we just add it. If it is not there, then we need to remove that character. Um, um, so we get this and leave this. Source. So I somehow need to check to see if the target is if there's any character in the target that is not in the source. I need to add that one. And that kind of need to do that in order. And my result needs to be in order, right? I can add minus minus and then later on I add the plus at the end. It all need to be in order that it needs to happen.
Yeah, I believe so. That's an interesting question. but yeah, I think the order is
Yeah.
gonna make it work.
So why? So I'm checking. Hmm. Yeah, I could say, um, this way. Oh, I feel like it should be easier than this.
Yeah, the way they have the answer too is a bit complicated to an extent. So the part you're struggling with in the else case now, they solve actually with the like second function that they're calling,
Mm.
and
Yeah, I mean, if it didn't have to be in order, then I could easily just add the pluses at the end.
right,
But in this case, they have to be in order.
yeah,
So, so I'm thinking, okay, this guy is said here in the source. If it is there, we add it. But I also need to check to see if if this character in the target is not in the source. So can I do something like this to see if um then I have to go through all of them and I have to loop. Hmm. Okay, check this element. Uh, this element is a particular character. And position. Hmm. I'm trying to see if I can somehow do it in one of these if and else statement. Um, the other way around. So when loop is going over the source, yeah, I can assume that it is not dead because I haven't looped over all of the elements yet in the source.
right,
So I can just so else. So this is if it is there. Else, I can check to see if um. So here I can then loop to see. Okay, so I can loop over the target and see if the target contains anything that is in the source. If not, then I'll add that one. And the only problem with this is I may be adding it at the wrong position still. Because
Yeah, true. Depending on what's left in the
yeah,
source.
because right after that, so except I keep track of some kind of count. Oh, I mean, at this point, I'm already running out of time. So, let me just try to return it and see what happens.
Okay.
Um, target set. Index error. Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't like this structure or anything I'm doing here.
Uh,
Uh,
huh.
so I could just do. What's another way I could do this? Mm, oh man, I could do. Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's probably like 100 ways in JavaScript, but I'm not a huge JavaScript person. I don't necessarily
Yeah,
know.
there's a way we can do. So let's start. What can I do? Yeah, no, it doesn't become like that. Okay. Well, I mean, at this point, you can just go ahead and do yours. Let me um, switch the rules.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that was a interesting question for sure.
Mhm.
Okie dokie. So, oh, I see it switched over. Okay. Um, so deletion distance. I'm just read through here. So deletion distance of two strings is the minimum number of characters you need to delete in the two strings in order to get the same string. So for instance, the deletion distance between heat and hit is 3. By deleting E and A in heat and I in hit, we get the string HT in both cases. Okay. We cannot get the same string from both strings by deleting 2 letters or fewer. Can I get the same string from both strings by deleting 2? Okay, so 3 is the middle. Given the strings 0, 1, 2, write an efficient function deletion distance that returns the deletion distance between them, explain how your function works, and analyze its time and space complexities. Alright, so we're taking in 2 strings, just kind of like yours, and I'm going to be sending back an integer. So, let's see, I might switch this to Java here. Let's see. So, do a little example. What is a good example? Do code. And so try to think of something a little bit longer. I can't think of anything.
The first hint they have here, they say you should identify the base case first, which is the string. So where one of the strings is empty, the deletion distance is simply the length of the other string. So,
gotcha. Okay, so I guess here they're trying to build something recursive. So I guess do that length equal to 0 or string 2 equal to 0. So that'll be our base. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So you don't need to delete anything, so just return 0 here. Okay, so otherwise, assuming we have something in either of the strings, I guess.
The hint says, so if one string is empty, the deletion distance is simply the length of the other string.
Because the final
Yeah.
common string will be nothing. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
So if the other string is 2, then it will be 2 that you return.
Yeah. Oh, so you. Oh, right. Okay, I gotcha.
delete the other 2 characters to be left with empty string. So that way, it's going to be 2 characters that you delete to match 0.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, I gotcha. So I think in that case, my if might be off. So I guess either of them can be no. Oh, actually, I see. So I see in the example, if they're both empty strings, that outputs 0. But I probably don't need to make that as specific of a case statement, because if I make it general, like for the case that you're talking about, it would cover that. So I guess, alright, well, let's just do this for now. Let's just say just the first one is 0, then we return the length of the second, and then I'll just split this out instead of trying to do it into. So the second one, the second one's length is 0, and we can do the reverse, so return the length of the first. Alright, does that make sense here?
So then you could build on this by considering the fact that if one string contains 1 character or 2 characters, then we.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah, so it says we can't get the same string from. Oh no, that's a different. Okay. So. So I guess let me take a look. So let's say the first string does contain 1 or 2 characters. So just do that. And let's say the second one is that. So in that case, because they have, I guess, a common character, the deletion distance is just the remaining characters. Let's say, a different example, it doesn't have a common character, then in that case, I guess the deletion distance is just the sum of the lengths of both strings. So I guess that would apply for anything here. So if the strings don't contain any, if they're all unique characters across the two strings, then I'm going to just be returning the lengths added together. But in that case, I would need to, I guess, scan or iterate through all the characters.
This solution seems to be using recursion.
Okay. So in these cases, you're just returning the int. So let's try to build a case where you're returning something recursively. So let's just do, let's say, if so let's just do if string caret 0. So I guess we'll just compare the first ones for now. So let's say they're both equal. In that case, we would not need to delete anything. So let's say return null. But if in theory they were not equal, I guess we need to decide, so I could recall the function. Well, I guess I still need to be able to look ahead on the letter to see if I would need to delete it. Because I can't just iterate one by one. Let's think. At this point, I'm probably just going to be adding a bunch of if statements I might not need.
If there's a way, if there's a way you can find a relationship between the prefixes of string 1 and string 2, that could work for the previous if statements.
Okay. So, relationship between the prefix. So, I mean, I guess, if this is the relationship between the first two that we're comparing, I guess in this case we could, let's let's just try send deletion distance. And we would need to send or I guess we'll need to return the result, but there we go. Okay, so deletion distance, and then we could send the string without the original character. I'm trying to think of what would be a simple Java function to do that. There's BPL, we'd end up with the same thing. We'd still pass BP. That doesn't make sense. Well, let me just keep typing down here. So, else if, let's just do the scenario where they are not equal. Alright, so in this case, these two particular letters are not equal. So we have to delete something. I knew that. So it's just deciding for these two particular letters whether we need to delete one or both, I suppose. But you know what, that doesn't make sense either. So let's say we have this. In that case, although they don't equal each other, then neither of them needed to be deleted. Well, they are out of order at that point, so maybe that doesn't make sense. I guess if we did this, then that would be the case. So we would need to delete this one. Okay, so then let's think about that. So if we get here to these two, B and P, and they don't equal, if we know one of these letters occurs again in the string, we don't have to delete it at this point. But I think I'm just trying to do this to I should probably be using the recursive.
Yeah.
Pare it down a little bit more.
But I think you are, because at the end of the day, if you call in the recursive function minusing one of the character, it will gradually be pointing towards one of these cases to return length that needs to be returned, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, I guess, what exactly the logic is there to delete through. I mean, I guess maybe I could also use some type of looping structure here to handle some of that. So let's just, for sake of argument, type out here separation distance. So if this is recursive, that should be all I need to do. I shouldn't actually have to loop in the main function. But let's see.
Do you need more hints?
Sure, if you have another one, let me hear
Um,
it.
I think they have to. Let me just see if I can paste it here.
Sure.
They have case one, um, where the last character in string one equals to the last character in string two. In this case, one may assume that these two characters are deleted and look at the prefixes that don't include the last character. And in the other case, this is where they have more details, but they're using a lot of functions. It's like they're using another main function here, helper function, and they're adding the deletion distance. So this is equals to 1 plus this. Um, this is string 1 and string 2, where n is the length of string 1 and m is the length of string 2. The deletion distance is g, which I think is deletion distance x of y.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not still clear, but
Yeah.
that's the end of the hint that I have here.
Right. Yeah. I see what it's saying. That is still a little vague, but okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't. Still trying to figure out how I would help get through that helper function. Um, what time is it? 11:58. Um, I mean, at this point, I think I'm going to end up in a similar state with probably not being able to compile the code.
Yeah,
So,
but I think this is the first time using this platform, right?
yeah, it is.
So I think after the interview, you still have access to the questions, and so
Oh, okay.
you can still click on the question and try to solve it later on.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's good that it did that.
Yeah, nice.
But after the session, they gives you they basically force you to submit a feedback.
Oh, okay.
So I prefer the verbal feedback than the written one.
Okay.
So we just give each other a quick feedback, and then uh, when that page comes, we can just put NA, just to skip it because it's long.
Gotcha.
Um, so I'll go first. I think one thing you did well is that you kept on communicating your thoughts. Um, Even if you weren't sure, you're still communicating what you're thinking, which I think is huge. I think that's one way I could improve too. Um, you understood the question quicker, which saves you some time. If this was a real interview,
Mhm.
and then you're able to make use of the hints, and at least for the most part you're in the right direction, where you're trying to manage and reach to your base case to return something regression. Um, so yeah, overall, I think the question itself is not that easy. So, um, but I think your approach is good.
Cool.
So,
Thanks. Um, yeah, so something I noticed is like you kind of immediately started getting like something on the screen. You started already like planning and making a design of how an example would work and stuff like that. And I think I kind of saw that and tried to use that too by starting with an example to see just how it would go through.
yeah,
And I think that worked for you because by the time you actually were writing code down, you like were already pretty much writing at least part of the solution. There was another helper function that would have helped you out,
hmm
but you were also already right on the same track. Um, I think another thing too is like this is probably just a personality thing too, but you come off really like calm, which is cool. You don't have any like nervousness or anything like that, which I think is something I struggle with. But I think it helps. You seem confident regardless of whether you may or may not know the answer. So that's good.
okay. Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And you can't really tell your nervousness though. You can't really.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think you suppress it pretty well. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. And
Do have a quick question. I wanted to record this
mhm,
just so I could watch it back and try to learn and like watch myself in the interview.
mhm.
I have a YouTube channel where I put stuff. I was just curious. Feel free to say no. I was curious if you cared if I threw this up there.
No, that's fine, man. No problem.
Okay. Awesome. Appreciate it, man.
I will just request after this. There is a place you can request for intro. I will just do that, and then later on, I would just like to watch that YouTube video too. Because I think it's cool.
Oh yeah. Awesome, man. Thanks.
Um, Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. You have a good day.
All right, you too.